Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ultimate Mortal Kombat coolest tier list.
Take it one step at a time.
That is right. Today we are ranking the Mortal Kombat 1 characters based on how cool they are. Again, this is all my opinion. Now, what is cool? I don't care what their powers and abilities and lore is. That does go into consideration, of course, but just how cool the character is, you know, because there is a difference between how cool they are and how boring they are. So subscribe here for more cool content, and let's get into this tier list. Also, as we start, let me know your thoughts down below. Which characters that I placed in certain tiers do you agree or disagree with? Speaking of tiers, we have at the top the coolest characters. They are basically aura farming. They are Riz. Whatever the kids are saying, they are that. They are the coolest. Then we got, you know, they're on the cooler side. Like, they're cooler than most characters, right? Then we have just basic, yeah, they're cool. They're fun, they're cool. And then they are just super mid. And then the very bottom, boring AF, dude. Like, they are just so boring as hell. And you know what? I'm going to start off hot. I'm going to start off so hot. We're putting Ghostface. Boring. We're putting Conan. Boring. Oh, these characters, what's cool about them? I put on a mask. I have a knife. I have a bigger knife. Boring. Give me a cool character design and or gameplay. These are boring as hell. Katana. You know what? I feel like Katana, it's pretty cool. I feel like Katana is pretty cool. I feel like Melina is actually cooler. I like Melina. I like the tar cotton thing going on. I like it. So again, this is not a bad thing if they're here. B does not mean bad. It just means that they are a staply cool character. They're right there. Tanya, I think she's cool. I don't think she's maybe mid. Nah, she's cool. She's cool. Tanya is cool. Rain. He's cooler, bro. Rain is pretty freak. He's pretty cool, bro. We're gonna change that. We're gonna change that to pretty cool because they're pretty damn cool up there, bro. I like Rain. I like Smoke. Honestly, I'm gonna get some hate for this. I think the Smoke is just cool. I think he's fine. I think he's a cool character. I don't think he's amazing or top tier. Sorry, sue me. Scorpion. He's pretty damn. He's the face. He's the face of Mortal Kombat. He's pretty damn cool. Now, we're finally gonna have the character up at the top, our first character in the coolest S tier, and that is Sub-Zero. He is the definition of coolest. He is the cool ninja. Literally, he's cold. He is the coldest, bro. He's the OG ice ninja. I personally like Sub-Zero more than Scorpion. I always have. I think he is cooler than Scorpion. So that's why this is the order we got going on. Reptile. Also the coolest, bro. Reptile is the coolest, dude. Are you kidding me? Reptile, a guy, well, depending on the iteration, you know, he either is a full-on reptilian, or in this case, Mortal Kombat 1, he's a guy that can transform. Well, I guess he's a reptilian that can transform into human. But, like, point is, transform back and forth. That's freaking sick. Honestly, Li Mei, our first mid character. She's not super cool. She's not boring AF, but she is pretty mid. I'm gonna put her there. I think Kenshi is cool. No, yeah, I think he's cool. I think it is cool what they did with him in Mortal Kombat 1. I think Baraka. Baraka for me personally is low cool, high mid. I'm gonna put him high mid. I'm putting him in high mid. Like, he is right on that border, that cusp of what I think is cool and mid. I don't know what they could do to make Baraka cooler, but as is, I think he's fine. I think he's right up at the higher side of mid. Geras is one of the coolest characters I've ever seen in Mortal Kombat, bro. Are you kidding me? A guy who can control. We have ice ninjas, we have, you know, fire ninjas, we got thunder gods, but you give me a guy that can control time. That is so freaking sick, and like they implemented that so well in his moveset. I love Geras. General Shao is pretty damn cool, bro. General Shao. I think that Shao Kahn and like MK9 and stuff is cooler. If this was MK9 Shao, he'd be up here, but we're on Mortal Kombat 1 Shao, and I think he's pretty damn cool. I think Sindel is also pretty. I think she's cool. I don't think she's pretty cool up here. I think she's with Katana and Tanya. I think this trio is pretty cool. However, I do think that Melina is cooler than all of them. Reiko, oh, he's almost boring, bro. He's almost boring, bro. But no, I'm putting him in mid. He's not super boring. Where I do think he's more entertaining and I think cooler than Ghostface and Conan, but he's not much higher than them. I'm a bit biased. I think this Mortal Kombat 1 version, if this was any other version of Raiden, he would be top tier. I think he's pretty cool here. This is more of a bias because I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one because he's, you know, more of a human now rather than like the protector of Earth or whatever. But I still think he's pretty cool. Like electric powers, humble Shaolin monk with those. I think is pretty damn cool. I did like previous iterations of Raiden more. Again, if it was MK9, MKX, he would be up here in the coolest tier for sure. Liu Kang. I think this is the coolest Liu Kang we've ever seen. I think that this is the coolest iteration of Liu Kang in any Mortal Kombat. He's like the creator of the universe, and he also has his staple like fire dragon moves. And dude, his fatality, his black hole fatality, is the coolest fatality I've ever seen. Honestly, Johnny Cage, actually, I prefer other Johnny Cage. I prefer MK9, MKX Johnny Cage. I prefer when he was a demigod and had actual powers. In this version, I think he's just cool. I don't think he's mid quite. I don't think he's quite mid yet, but I think he's cool. I think he's whatever. He would be pretty cool or cooler if he had his OG powers and was more of a demigod on that side. Now, I'm going to put Kung Lao. For some reason, I liked other Kung Laos better. In this version, I actually think he's mid. Like the past three characters, Raiden, Johnny, Kung Lao, I've preferred older and other iterations of the character. And in MK1, they're like down a peg for like in the cool factor, in the aura farming factor, they're actually down a peg, bro. Like Kung Lao is, I hate, sue me, like I said, sorry, but he's mid in Mortal Kombat 1. Astra, a demon trying to go angelic and she's trying to right her wrongs, bro. That's pretty freaking cool. That's pretty cool. I don't know if it's like the coolest I've ever seen, but it is pretty cool. Natara, take away the voice, like everyone's gonna be like, oh, the voice actor Megan Fox sucks, it's boring. As a character, I think she's mid. I think she's mid. I like the idea of Natara, especially Mortal Kombat 1 Natara. I like it. It is up there on the coolish side, but it's just not quite cool level to me. Havoc is pretty damn cool. Havoc is pretty cool. I don't know if he's quite the coolest. This is up here. This is saved for the literal coolest characters, and Havoc is up there. I would put him high, pretty cool. I don't know if he's. I don't think he's the coolest, but he's a really cool character in Mortal Kombat 1. Shang Tsung, man, again, one of those characters where I actually prefer other iterations. I think he is cool. I think he's cool in Mortal Kombat 1. Again, if we had other iterations of the character, they would be up here. But specifically Mortal Kombat 1 Shang Tsung, I think he's cool. Omni-Man, dude, he's in Mortal Kombat 1, sure, but Omni-Man, like from the show and the comics, that's pretty freaking. No, Omni-Man's up in the coolest. I'm sorry, Omni-Man's up there in the coolest, bro. Omni-Man is so freaking cool. They put him in a Mortal Kombat game. I know you're gonna say I hate characters in Mortal Kombat, but they sell. And you know why they sell? Because they're cool. People pay for cool. People buy the pack. They bought Omni-Man because he's the fact that he is in Mortal Kombat and doing fatalities is so freaking cool. Quan Chi, I actually think this is one of my favorite iterations of Quan Chi. I don't think he's quite the coolest, but I actually think he's cooler than Shang Tsung is in this iteration. Quan Chi is pretty damn cool. Now listen, I'm a DC stan. I have DC tattoos. I have all the Funko Pops and statues behind me, but Peacemaker, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think he's mid. I think he's high mid up here with Baraka, like on that cusp of like, you know, cool and mid, but I just think he's mid, bro. Time to hydrate. All right, Ermac. Again, other iterations, I actually prefer this version of Ermac. I think is cool. I think you know what? Nah, it's cool. It's cool. I would say high cool up here, right? We're gonna put him at the forefront of cool, but I mean maybe behind the trio. But I don't think he's up there in the pretty cool section. I just don't. But I do think Ermac is cool. Again, other iterations I think are cooler. Homelander. I like Omni-Man, the show, Invincible, better than I do the boys, but I do think on like an objective level, the fact that we got Homelander in a Mortal Kombat game, doing combos, fatalities, the gameplay is annoying as hell, but the fact that he's in here with his skins and his voice lines and whatnot is pretty damn cool, bro. That is so, like, you can't really argue. Like, it is really cool to see Omni-Man and Homelander from their shows that they have that are very gory, very bloody, and very mature, to be put into a game like Mortal Kombat, I think is cool. Now, they play very different, so I don't want to hear they're just Superman character. No, dude, they play very differently. They both fly and they're buff. Like, that's all you can say they have, you know, in regards to how similar they are, but they're very different, and I do think they have different levels of coolness for this list. Takeda. Honestly, Takeda, I don't play him, bro. he is one of the coolest characters in Mortal Kombat 1, dude. He is so free. I think he's up there for sure. This whole bar stayed for the coolest characters, and Takeda makes that list. The way that they did his moveset, his gameplay, and his character in Mortal Kombat 1, I think is so freaking cool. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think we're gonna put Sector Cyrax in the same bar because they're on the same level to me, and I think that that's just cool. They're cool characters, bro. They are definitely cool characters. They're fun. I love the Iron Man suit idea. I prefer the cybernetic Cybermen of Sector and Cyrax, but with the way they did it in Mortal Kombat 1, I like it. It's cool. Not quite the coolest, but it is cool. Noob Saibot has always intrigued me. Noob Saibot is one of the coolest characters, bro. Noob Saibot is so freaking cool in this game, dude. I love it. I've always loved Noob in the way they did him, and they did him. I think, I know a lot of it's kind of controversial with the way that he's portrayed in Mortal Kombat 1 versus like MK9 and whatnot. I think MK9 is peak. This is one step beneath that, but it still is one of the coolest characters. Now, I give, you know, Ghostface and Conan and these guest characters, they're very different. You know, we have boom, 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 boom. They're very separated in this list. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the very first guest character, I mean, I guess not the very first because we have Omni-Man, but also T1000 is one of the coolest characters. T1000 is literally the concept. I don't like him as a character outside of Mortal Kombat because I just don't watch the news. I don't care. But like in the game, so annoying to fight. I'm not gonna lie to you. So annoying to fight, okay? But conceptually, he is one of the coolest freaking characters, dude. Like the way his moveset works and what he can do, he's liquid metal for people. I don't know how you get cooler than that. Like it is so freaking unique. And to see him in a game like this, doing what he does gameplay-wise again, fatalities, brutalities, combo, string, specials, it is so freaking cool. Someone go back and tell me how many times I've said the word cool throughout this video. Speaking of cool, you know what would be really cool? If you subscribe here. I mean, we do have new videos Monday and Friday, and we stream twice a week, and who doesn't want all that content? If you made it this far in the video, chances are you like what I do, and it would be pretty cool if you subscribed. Darius, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think we haven't had a character be down here for the whole tier list since the beginning, but I think Darius is just boring, bro. I do. I think Darius, the sunglasses and the suit don't make him that cool. Hey, yo. I just think he's a boring character overall. I just do. I know he's only a cameo, but even then, boring. I think the idea of Serena is really cool. I don't think she's up there with, you know, Ashra, but I do think as a character, she is cool. I think she's a cool character. Again, I know we're down to the cameos now, so it's hard to like really judge their full gameplay. But again, as the character who we're seeing here, I do think that Serena is pretty cool. I think this Cyrax and Sector, I think they're up here. I don't think they're the coolest characters ever, but they are definitely cooler than the Mortal Kombat 1 versions we got, in my opinion. So they are up in the pretty damn cool section up here. Now, we're gonna have a couple here that I actually made a tweet about this, and the tweet is getting hundreds of views per hour because I mean it's got like 15,000 views in just over a day now, where I said Mortal Kombat hot take. I really don't care for the special forces, Sonya, Jax, even Kano. In a game full of fire gods, elemental ninjas, sorcerers, and time lords, the special forces just do not do it for me. And I've had a lot of comments on this and a lot of debates and, you know, agrees and disagrees and whatnot. But with that being said, yeah, Kano and Sonya, they are just boring characters, bro. I don't care that they've been here since day one or since the first or second game. I don't care. Just because they're a staple first to the franchise character does not make them cool. They're sitting one out. That's fine by me. Now, the only exception to this on the low end of cool, I would actually put Jax. Jax makes this kind of a end list of cool because of the metal arms. I think that is cooler than even a laser eye. Other than that, I mean, maybe high mid, but I'm going to put him at the low cool here. He's cooler than them. He's not... Yeah, again, high mid, low cool. Sonya and Kano, they're just boring, bro. They're just boring. Now, compared to Sub-Zero, who's one of the coolest characters, as I said before, Frost, I don't know why, is kind of just mid. Like, she's not super cool because we already had that with Sub-Zero. And I don't mind Frost, but like when it comes to the, you know, the concept of being a cool character, she just does not hit the mark for me. Dude, I don't care what you say. I just don't care what you say. Speaking of special forces and people just with a gun and or a knife and or a sword, like Striker, I got a gun and a taser. Okay, I don't care. That's not cool when you have a game full of literal time lords, fire gods, reptilian humanoids, and ice ninjas. Like Striker just does not hit it. Now, this version of Scorpion, I actually do prefer over this version of Scorpion. So I'm actually going to put Scorpion up here, OG style. Well, up here with the coolest freaking character. We got ice ninjas. We got resurrected demon fire ninjas. We got reptilian humanoids and like they can spit acid balls and stuff. This is so freaking cool. They're kind of the same Sub-Zero. I'm going to put this Sub-Zero down here in the pretty cool section. I do like Mortal Kombat 1 Sub-Zero. I know that's a controversial take because people hate the idea of them changing, you know, to Bihan or whatever, but I actually do like Mortal Kombat 1 Sub-Zero. It's pretty freaking cool. Now, Kung Lao, this Kung Lao, I actually do like more than the other Kung Lao. So I'm going to put this Kung Lao above and put him in low end of cool because I'm not going to lie to you, I don't think that Kung Lao ever has really been a really cool character in my eyes overall. But I do think that this version of Kung Lao is cooler than Mortal Kombat 1's official version of Kung Lao. Now, Gluschenko is one of the coolest characters, bro. The first cameo to make our coolest list up here. Gluschenko is, I think, cooler than even Shang Tsung. Okay, you see Shang Tsung down here. Gluschenko is pretty. I think he's one of the coolest characters. What he could do, and again, I don't know why. I just find it cooler than Shang Tsung. Motaro is pretty free. You can't deny how freaking cool Motaro is, bro. I don't know if he's one of the, he's up there. He might be one of the coolest. The problem is I don't know if we put him in the coolest because we've never, like, as a concept of a character, it is pretty damn cool. I think the one thing that would make him even cooler is if we saw more gameplay or ever have seen more gameplay of him. We've seen it like what, once. So I think that's the one thing keeping him from being up in the coolest tier list, a list section. But I do think that he is a pretty damn cool character. Now Goro, this version of Goro, I'm not a fan of. I think it's cool. I think other versions again are cooler. There's been MK9 Goro definitely up here, up in the either the pretty cool or coolest. But right now, I just don't mind. It's like again, it is a cool version of Goro, just not the coolest that I've seen. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am a Tremor stan. I absolutely love Tremor. So you're probably thinking he's gonna go up in the coolest, and you'd be pretty damn correct if this was the Mortal Kombat X version. I do think that Mortal Kombat X is by far top 3 for me, one of the coolest characters I've ever seen in probably any fighting game, let alone Mortal Kombat. But this version, I don't know why, is not as cool. It is still pretty damn cool to see Tremor, even as a cameo, in a game like this. But I do think that comparatively, I've seen cooler versions, so I'm gonna put him down one peg in the pretty cool tier. Again, I just think that if he had been the MKX version and fully playable, he would be up here in the coolest. And that sucks to say because I love Tremor. He's so free. Again, one of the coolest. This version, I think it's just pretty cool. And I'm gonna say the same exact thing for Chameleon. She's so freaking cool, bro. She's up there with the coolest, or like right beneath the cusp of coolest, pretty cool. But I'm putting her down here just because it is so cool to have a cameo that can change forms just like Tremor and like give you other options. But the only thing holding her back, just like Motaro, is I want to see more gameplay. I think that if she was fully playable would give me more context to the character and maybe put it up that one peg. I know there's the argument of like, well, what about Gluschenko? I just think Gluschenko is so freaking cool, bro. Again, my opinion, okay? Honestly, Johnny Cage here in the cool, I think it'd be pretty cool if we had other versions. But so we're going to Janet Cage, dude. She's boring, bro. Like as a character, she's just boring. It's not because she's female. It's not because she's just a girl version of Johnny Cage. Because if they had just another Johnny Cage, but it was like a boy version, but another boy version, it would still be boring, bro. Like we already got Johnny Cage, so to have another version of Johnny Cage is just boring to me. I don't think Johnny Cage is cool at all. Okay, Movado. Again, it's hard because we haven't seen him since like what, Deception or what, Armageddon or whatever. Like Movado cameo, I thought would be cooler, bro. I thought it'd be cooler. We have a couple things going for him, and then the trap. I think he's mid, bro. I think he's down there with Frost, not up there. He's down there with Frost because I wanted him to be cooler and he just wasn't, bro. He's actually a very mid cameo. And sue me for this. I think that Farah is in the same boat. I think Farah is very mid. I don't really care for her. I think it is cool they brought her back from MKX days to put her in as a cameo. That gives her a couple of points to not put her in boring, but even with those points, I think she belongs in mid. Now, this one's going to be a bit controversial. I think Madame Bo would be boring as hell and be down here. I do, but I think she has one thing going for her that puts her up in mid. and that it's just funny. It's just funny to see Madame Bo be a cameo, come out, give you a drink. That is funny. That is some cool points. I don't think it's cool enough to put her up here with Goro and Jackson, whatever, but I wanted to put her in boring, but I was like, nah, it is kind of funny to see her like come out and to give you drinks. So those cool points give her just the edge and put her up in mid. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the full completed cool list, the coolest tier list of Mortal Kombat 1 you've ever seen. Now keep in mind, this is this whole tier list is not objective. This is all very subjective, opinion based. My opinion. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of this list? Who do you agree with and who do you disagree with? Where would you put my coolest characters and where would you put probably the boring AF characters? And I guess anybody in between as well. If you guys enjoyed content like this, again, subscribe here for more. We have new videos Monday and Friday. We stream twice a week. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great night. Be safe out there. Take it one step at a time, and I will see you in the next video and or stream.